Well, good day. I wanted to make a short video today as it's the anniversary, the 78th anniversary of D Day, June the 6th, 1944, uh, otherwise also known as Operation Overlord. And that was the day that US, British, and Canadian troops crossed the English Channel to land on the beaches of Normandy in France to liberate Europe from the occupation by Nazi Germany, and has ever since, of course, been known as D Day. And I think 78 years on, it's still important to remember what these guys did, what they sacrificed. Remarkable achievement that it was by the soldiers, sailors, and airmen and others who participated in this operation. The tremendous forces that they encountered in doing this, the lives that were lost, also that we today, also that we can have the freedoms that we've got today, the freedoms that are so casually taken by many people and abused. And we cannot forget that generation and what they did to ensure that the world remained free from tyranny. And these were young guys, guys in their teens, early 20s, just ordinary guys. And they were guys, they were men, ordinary men, no different from you and I, and they did extraordinary things. You can see here the different beaches in Normandy that they landed on that day. The German forces they were up against. There were, of course, paratroopers parachuted in, uh, Air Force support, naval support, and then the guys that got on the landing craft. Sometimes they stayed on them. They were on there for 24 hours before they got off, and then fought their way through traps and machine gun fire and tank fire and artillery fire and just everything. It's impossible to imagine what that must have been like. I know we've seen it in a few movies, and there's been attempts to portray it as the surreally horrible experience it must have been. But I'm forever grateful that they did what they did. Uh, yeah, the different beaches there. Gold Beach holds particular significance from our family, as my Uncle Bill landed on that day in Gold Beach. Thankfully, he survived and lived to a good old age. And you can see what they were facing in this famous photograph taken, I think this is at Gold Beach, coming off and having to wade through the water under incredible fire through these nightmarish, hellish scenarios. But they prevailed. And by the end of June, there were something like 800,000 Allied troops from Britain, Canada, America, Australia, India, New Zealand, European countries, many other countries from around the world who participated in sending troops to support that invasion and push the Germans back. Another shot of the Gold Beach landings, and I mean the photographers and journalists. Unlike the journalists of today, many of them they went in there and they were there with these guys, taking these photographs. This is a photograph of Arromanches in Normandy, Gold Beach, as it was a few years ago, and you can still see the remains of some of the landing craft and the portable bridges and the pontoon bridges that were built and the pontoon jetties are still there. And there's certainly lots of other military hardware and bunkers still around. And that's the beach that my uncle landed on. And so I went to visit that many times as a kid on holidays to France. It's a very special place. And still to this day, there are extremely well maintained graves of Allied soldiers. I think this may be the American cemetery at in Normandy to commemorate their sacrifice. And just a quick blurry shot of my uncle. We don't have that many photographs of his military service. And my Uncle David served in Italy and fought all the way up through Italy. My father was in the Air Force. So I come from one of the remaining generations, I guess, who was directly involved with people who were directly in that conflict, and it was still fairly fresh at the time when I was a kid. So, yeah, I'd like to thank all those troops who did what they did for us, and commemorate those who sacrificed their lives. We will never forget it, and I'm sure for as long as those of us who remember, there will be tributes every year to them. So thank you to them, and thank you for watching this short tribute video. I appreciate it.